Why does it seem so easy for some people to stop smoking and so difficult for others? I've been studying that question for a long time. First as a heavy smoker for 30 years, and then as a stop smoking coach and counselor since 2005. As a smoker, I tried quitting countless times. Sometimes I'd make it for a while. I even quit once for 2 years, but I always ended up having just that one, and you already know how that turned out. I felt like I was trying everything, but nothing worked. Now, the longer you keep trying things that don't work, it's human nature that you're going to start rationalizing about it, trying to explain your situation to yourself. You might interpret your results as failure and internalize that as a personal flaw. I'm not able, you say. I'm too weak. I'm too addicted. I lack the willpower. I can't quit smoking. Or you might externalize the problem to blame the thing itself and say, it's too difficult. It's impossible. Quitting sucks. It's the worst. Harder than quitting heroin or cocaine. Believe me, whichever way you go with that, you're going to believe yourself. And the more you believe it, the more likely you are to give up and stop trying. It's called learned helplessness, and I'll make a separate video about that. But here's what's really going on. If you tried quitting in the past, whatever you tried, and you may really believe that you literally tried everything, if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, it's not because you were weak or it's too difficult. It's because those things you tried don't work. And I didn't know that. I believed I was doing my best and trying harder and harder and trying again. And, well, about 15 years ago, I finally stopped trying, and I actually did the one and only thing that works. Yeah, and you know what that is. The technical manual for how to be a non-smoker for life is a tiny book. 2 words. Don't smoke. I know you tried that, right? And it didn't work. You tried cold turkey, we struggled and failed. That's because it can't possibly work when you're just trying it. But when you learn how to take control of your own thoughts about being a non-smoker, when you learn to eliminate your own self-doubt, and when you learn to connect to what really matters most to you, well, that's how I managed to quit for good, and it was perfectly easy. At that point, I became very interested in the field of positive psychology and NLP, which led to studying human behavior and hypnotherapy and even ancient philosophy, all of which helped me identify and eliminate my own previous unhelpful beliefs about smoking, about anything, really. Now, I teach others how to use built-in mental resources to shift their own perceptions and achieve self-directed behavior change. Whenever I meet someone who tells me that they used to smoke but they quit, I always ask the same 2 questions. Was it difficult or easy, and how did you do it? There are those who say, it's the hardest thing I ever did, and when you ask how they did it, they'll say, I tried everything, pills, patches, gum, cutting down, switching brands, and they'll describe how difficult all that was. They will admit that it got easier once they actually stopped, but they're remembering how difficult it was while they were so busy trying to quit. I recommend you stop trying to quit because trying is hard. But when you meet someone who tells you that it was easy for them to quit, and they're out there, did you know that in the United States, every day about 5,000 smokers successfully become non-smokers, and the vast majority of them did it without pills or patches or any of that stuff? When you ask them how they did do it, they almost always say the same 2 things. They'll say, I just quit. That's the technique, right? And they'll usually add something like, I just made up my mind. And that's the powerful attitude. When it comes to being a non-smoker, attitude is everything. You don't need pills or patches or products of any kind. You don't need drugs to stop smoking. All you have to change is your mind.